Good morning to you all, and welcome to lecture 2 for chapter 3, that is current electricity. In the previous class, we have studied about the definition of current and its types, as well as we have also studied about the various graphs of different types of current. In this class, we need to learn about the relationship between current and drift velocity. Current is denoted by capital I, drift velocity is Vd. The expression for drift velocity we have obtained in the previous class. We have to go through a new term that is known as current density. We will be learning something about the Ohm's law. This law you have already studied in class 10. But now in this class, we will be learning something about its various expressions. So it can be expressed in some other ways that we will be seeing. And then finally, we will be going through some of the formulae of conductivity and resistivity. All right. So let's begin today's class with the first topic, that is relationship between current I and drift velocity Vd. Final result that you will be getting is I is equal to NAE Vd, where the small n is number density of the electrons, that is number of electrons per unit volume. A is the area of the conductor, E is the charge on the electron, and Vd is your drift velocity. So this is the relationship between I and Vd. We have to derive it. Let's consider a conductor of length L and area of cross section A, like this. This is our conductor. The area of cross section is capital A and the length of this conductor is small l. An electric field capital E is applied between its end with the help of a battery V as shown in figure. So at its end, we have applied a battery that is having a potential difference capital V, and because of the application of this battery, there existed an electric field. The direction of this electric field will be from the positive terminal of the battery towards the negative terminal. We all know that electric field always from the positive charge towards the negative charge. All right, so that's why the electric field will be in this direction. The electrons will be drifted with a velocity Vd with the application of this electric field in a direction opposite to that of the electric field that we know. We have derived the value for this Vd in the previous class, and then in that expression, there was one minus sign. Vd is equal to minus E, capital E tau by m. So that minus sign suggests us this thing that the direction of this Vd is opposite to the direction of the electric field. All right. Let small n be the number of the electrons per unit volume, that is the number density. Capital N be the total number of electrons, and small n be the number density of the electrons. I've told you about this number density. The small n is equal to capital N divided by V, that is total number of electrons divided by the volume of the conductor. These free electrons, they will started to drift, or they will be starting to drifting in a direction opposite to that of the electric field when you apply this battery. So the electrons, they will be started moving in this direction with a drift velocity Vd. All right. So this is what we have concluded from this diagram. Now, our aim is to establish a relationship between the current and the drift velocity. So when you apply the potential difference across a conductor, naturally current will be starting flowing through the conductor. So we need to establish a relationship between that current that is flowing through this conductor and the drift velocity of the electrons, that is Vd. All right. So let's do this. Now, the total number of electrons present in the conductor, that is capital N, it can be given by this formula. We know small n is equal to capital N upon V. So capital N, that are the total number of electrons present inside the conductor, can be written like number density multiplied by the volume. All right. So this capital N is the total number of electrons that are present in this. So this volume, it can be written as the product of the area of the conductor multiplied by its length. So in place of this V, we can write A multiplied by L, that is AL. So this is the total number of electrons that are present inside this conductor. that capital N is equal to number density multiplied by area of the conductor multiplied by its length. All right. The charge on one electron is small e. We know this. So what will be the charge on capital N number of electrons? That is capital N multiplied by E. So the total charge passing through the conductor because of the flow of capital N electrons, it can be given as Q is equal to N into E. E is the charge on one electron. The total number of free electrons that are present inside the conductor that we have obtained as capital N. If we need to find the total charge that is passing through this conductor, that is E multiplied by capital N. So that is the value of Q, the total charge passing through the conductor. Now, in place of this N, I can write small n multiplied by A multiplied by L. So that's what I have done over here. So this is the total charge passing through the conductor. Q is equal to number density small n multiplied by area capital A multiplied by length of the conductor, that is L, multiplied by the charge on one electron, that is E. So this is what I've got. Now, the time period T in which the charge passes through the conductor. See, the electrons, they are over here and they will be passing through this conductor. They will be covering a length L because L is the length of the conductor. And that L distance will be covered by the electrons in time T. All right. And the velocity of these electrons is Vd. They are drifted with a drift velocity Vd. Now we know the speed, that is the velocity we know. We know the distance covered by the charged particles electrons. We know the time. We can easily be calculating the time. T is equal to L by Vd. Time is equal to distance upon speed. We know this formula. So by using that formula, we can write that the time taken by the electrons to cross this conductor is equal to the length of the conductor divided by the velocity of the electrons. The velocity of the electrons was the drift velocity Vd. So in place of velocity, we have written Vd, and the distance traveled by the electrons is L. We know speed is equal to distance upon time. Similarly, time is equal to distance upon speed. So that formula we have used. Now we are having two quantities. One is the total charge that is passing through the conductor, and also we are having the time in which that charge is passing. All right. So we are having two quantities. One is the total charge passing through the conductor, that is Q, and other one is the time in which that Q charge is passing through the conductor. And we know this, that the current flowing through the conductor, capital I, it can be written as Q by T. We know this, that the charge divided by time taken by those charges to flow across a conductor gives the current across this conductor. In place of this Q, I can write small n, capital A, small l multiplied by E. That was the formula we have obtained for Q. And in place of this T, I can write L by Vd. This L gets cancelled out with this L, and this Vd will go into the numerator, and you are left with I is equal to NAE Vd. So this is the relationship between current and drift velocity. We can see that the current I is directly proportional to the drift velocity of the charged particles. All right. If some other charges were flowing, not the electrons, then we have to take the charge of those particles which are flowing through the conductor. All right. In place of E, you will be replacing it by Q. That Q is the charge of those particles. All right. Then the formula becomes I is equal to NaQVd, where Q is the charge of the single particle that is flowing across the conductor. All right. This formula is very important, and sometimes they ask it in the exam to derive it, and there will be a lot of numerical problems on this formula as well. I hope I'm clear in this one. Now let's study something about a new quantity that is known as current density. So current density is one quantity that is denoted by J. All right. Current density at a point is defined as the quantity of charge passing per unit time through unit area. It means it is the current flowing per unit area. Charge per unit time is the current, and that is through unit area. That is, you have to write I by A. And we all know that the direction of the area is always perpendicular to the direction of flow of charge at that point. So at a given point, the direction of area vector will always be perpendicular to that point. Current density is a vector quantity, and the direction of this current density is always taken perpendicular to the direction of flow of charge at that point. All right. The current density J for a current I crossing a conductor having an area of cross section A can be defined as J is equal to I by A. Alternatively, you can write its definition as the current per unit area is current density. All right. And the SI unit for this current density will be ampere per meter square. Ampere is for current and meter square is for area. It is a vector quantity. Again, I'm telling you, current density is current flowing per unit area. And the direction of this current density is always perpendicular to the direction of flow of charge at the given point. All right. Its SI unit will be ampere per meter square. Now, let's quickly use this expression that we have just derived, that is I is equal to NAEVD, to write one alternate expression for current density. Current density is J is equal to I by A. So alternate expression for current density is, we know that I is equal to NAEVD. We have just derived it. Now, current density J is equal to I by A. In place of this I can write NAEVD. And A was already there in the formula of current density. This A gets cancelled out with this A, and you are left with J is equal to NEVD. So this is another expression for current density. J is equal to NEVD. All right. That is current per unit area. So this is all about current density that I want to discuss. Now let's take another topic that is very familiar with you, the Ohm's law. You have studied this Ohm's law in class 10. Now we will be learning this Ohm's law in a much more detail, and we will be defining and finding out some more expressions for this Ohm's law. Up to class 10th, you have known only this, that V equal to Ri is Ohm's law, where V is voltage, I is current, and R is resistance. That's what you know. All right. According to Ohm's law, the electric current I flowing through a metallic wire is directly proportional to the potential difference V across its ends, provided the temperature remains the same. That is, V is directly proportional to I, and V is equal to Ri, where R is the resistance of the conductor. This you know from your class 10th, that V is equal to Ri is Ohm's law. Now we will be using this expression to define Ohm's law in another way, and we will be finding some more expressions for Ohm's law. All right. Alternate expressions for Ohm's law. We know that I is given as I is equal to NAEVD. We have just obtained this in our previous discussion. We have just obtained I is equal to NAEVD. Also, in the previous class, we have obtained the formula for drift velocity. Vd, it can be written as E tau by m. The formula for drift velocity, Vd, is equal to capital E tau by m, that we have obtained in our previous class. Now you can put this Vd in place of this Vd over here. Also, there is one formula for electric field E that we have obtained in chapter number 2. That E can be written as V by L. All right. One unit for electric field is volt per meter. That's why electric field can be written as the potential difference divided by the length across which that potential difference is acting. So E is equal to V by L. So using these two equations in equation number 1, I can write it like this, that I is equal to NAE. In place of Vd, I have written E tau by m. In place of this Vd, I have used equation number 2. And in place of this E, I can write V by L. All right, that's what I can do. In place of this capital E, I can write V by L. So the equation becomes like this, that NAE in brackets, small e, in place of capital E, I have written V by L, and tau divided by m was already there in the equation. So now you are left with this thing. When you open up this bracket, you are left with I is equal to NaE square tau V upon Lm. All right. So this is the expression for I in terms of number density, area, voltage, relaxation time, and length, as well as mass and charge of the particles that are flowing. Now you can compare this equation with this equation. I is equal to V by R. We know this. From Ohm's law, we know this I is equal to V divided by R. So if I compare it with, I can write this 1 upon R is equal to NaE square tau divided by Lm. So I can separate this V without this V, whatever the other term is there, that is 1 by R. If I compare it towards the left hand side, it is I. Towards the right hand side, it is 1 by R multiplied by V. So if I remove this V, whatever be the term left in this expression, that is equal to 1 by R. So I can write it like this. 1 upon R is equal to NaE square tau divided by Lm. That's what I can do. All right. And finally, I can write that R is equal to ML divided by NaE square tau. So now you can see that the resistance of a conductor, it depends on this much quantity. All right. And we know that resistance also depends on the length as well as on the cross section area. With the help of one formula, R is equal to rho L by A. So we will be using that formula in order to find the resistivity and the conductivity with this formula. I hope I'm very much clear in this one. Now let's talk something about electrical resistivity denoted by rho. The resistance of a conductor R is directly proportional to the length of the conductor L, and it is inversely proportional to the area of its cross section. We know this from our 10th class discussion. R directly proportional to L and R inversely proportional to 1 by A. When you combine these two equations, you can write R proportional L by A, and when you remove this proportionality sign, you have to write R is equal to rho L by A, where rho is the resistivity of the material. It's a constant of proportionality and it is known as the electrical resistivity. We know this. All right. Now, how to define resistivity? Let's define resistivity. In equation number 3, if L is equal to 1 meter and A is equal to 1 meter square, then we can write R is equal to rho. If this L becomes 1 meter and A becomes 1 meter square, then we can write rho is equal to R. That is, resistivity is equal to the resistance of a conductor of length 1 meter having area of cross section 1 meter square. All right. So that's how we can define resistivity. It is the resistance of a conductor of length 1 meter having area of cross section 1 meter square. So that's what you can write. So this is the area of cross section 1 meter square, and this is the length. If you want to calculate the resistivity of any material, what you need to do, you need to take the wire of that material that is having a length 1 meter and having area cross section 1 meter square. And if you calculate the resistance of that wire that is having length 1 meter and area 1 meter square, you can calculate the resistivity of that material. If you need to calculate the resistivity of silver, take a wire of silver of 1 meter having area of cross section 1 meter square and find its resistance. The same will be the value for its resistivity. Similar is case for other materials. This resistivity is a material property. It do not depend on the length and the area of cross section. All right. Resistance depends, not the resistivity. All right. Value of R for this wire is equal to rho. So that's how you need to define resistivity. Now let's find some expressions for this resistivity. Another quantity that is closely related to this resistivity is conductivity, and it is denoted by sigma. The reciprocal of conductivity is known as resistivity, or in other terms you can write the reciprocal of resistivity is known as conductivity, and it is denoted by sigma. The reciprocal of resistivity is known as conductivity. It is denoted by sigma. mathematically we can write sigma is equal to 1 by rho. All right, that is the reciprocal of this resistivity rho gives you sigma. In place of this rho, you can write RA by L. From our previous discussion, we know that R is equal to rho L by A. This rho can be written as RA divided by L. From this expression, equation number 3, I can write rho is equal to RA by L. So that's what I have written over here. In place of this rho, I have written RA by L, and that's why sigma is equal to L divided by RA. All right. So this is your sigma, reciprocal of resistivity. The SI unit for sigma is mho meter inverse, or you can write it like this also, ohm inverse meter inverse, or you can write it alternative. This ohm inverse can be written like this also. That is literally the inverse of this ohm symbol. All right. One another unit for conductivity is Siemens per meter, or S per meter. S is the symbol for the Siemens. All right. So please remember these units. Any one of these units can be used to express the unit for conductivity. All right. Now we need to find some expressions for conductivity sigma and resistivity rho. From Ohm's law, we can write V is equal to Ri. In place of this R, I can write rho L by A. The resistance can be given as rho L by A that we have derived in our previous discussion when we were talking about the dependency of this resistance on the length and the area of cross section. That R is equal to rho L by A. So that's what I have written in place of R, rho L by A. All right, I've used this formula. J is the current density, and it is written as I by A, and also electric field E is related with V in this manner, that E is equal to V by L. So we use these two formulas in this expression. All right. We know J is equal to I by A. This I by A can be written as J. Over here, we are having I divided by A. In place of I divided by A, I can write J, that is your current density. And I can write V by L as electric field E. All right. So E is equal to V by L. This L I have taken it over here towards the denominator of this V, and V by L I have written as E, and this I upon A I have written J. So we are left with E is equal to V upon L, that is equal to J rho. I hope I am clear in this one. Now, in place of this rho, I can write the equation like this, that J is equal to E by rho. Just take these two equations, E is equal to V upon L, and that is also equal to J rho. So I've taken the first E is equal to J rho. All right. And I've taken this rho into the denominator of this E. That's why I'm left with J is equal to E by rho, and 1 by rho is sigma. I can write J is equal to sigma E. All right. And this is one another expression of Ohm's law, that J is equal to sigma E. The current density, conductivity, and electric field, they are related like this. J is equal to sigma capital E. All right. So this is one another expression or another form of Ohm's law. The final expression is J is equal to sigma E. We know that I is equal to NAEVD. All right. We have derived this equation that I is equal to NAEVD, and in place of this VD, you can write the expression for drift velocity E, capital E tau by M, and the final expression for I, it becomes NAE square E tau by M. That's what we have done earlier also. Also, I is equal to J multiplied by A. We know this, J is equal to I by A. So I can write I is equal to current density J multiplied by the area vector A. So now these two equations, equation second and this equation third, in place of J, you can write sigma E. Just you have derived this equation that J is equal to sigma E. All right. Now we can use these two equations to equate with each other because they both are denoting current I only. So I is equal to JA. In place of J, I have written sigma E. We have just derived this equation that the current density can be written as conductivity multiplied by the electric field. Now, these two equations, they are expressing I. On the left hand side, they are having I only. So I can equate these two equations. That sigma capital EA is equal to NAE square E tau by M. And this E gets cancelled out with this E and A gets cancelled out with this A. And we are left with sigma is equal to NE square tau by M. So this is one alternate expression for conductivity. That the conductivity, it depends on the number density of electrons, the charge square, the relaxation time, and it is inversely proportional to the mass. All right. So now we can say this very clearly. There is a very clear picture of this thing that this conductivity has nothing to do with the length and the area of cross section. Similar is the case with resistivity. When you take the reciprocal of conductivity, you will get resistivity. So this is one another expression for conductivity. We know that rho is equal to 1 by sigma. When you take the reciprocal of this, you will be getting the value for resistivity rho. So this is one another alternate expression for resistivity, that rho is equal to M divided by N squared tau. All right. Again, we can see that resistivity has nothing to do with the length and the area of cross section. It depends on the material properties, and these all are the material properties. All right. The number density is a material property. Relaxation time is also depends on the type of the atoms which are present in the material, the charge carriers which are present in the materials, their mass as well as on their square of their charge. All right. We will be having a lot of reasoning questions that will be based on these two formulae. You have to remember these formulae in order to explain those reasoning questions that we will be seeing. All right. So please remember these two formulae, and now you can understand this thing that why the resistivity and conductivity, they are not dependent on the length and the area of cross section. All right. But resistance depends, not the resistivity or the conductivity. That's all that I want to discuss for now. Thank you very much for joining up the class, and if stay safe, stay blessed.